You never really know who someone is just by looking at them. That's why what happened in the office that rainy afternoon shocked everyone into silence, and taught them a lesson they would never forget. It all started on an ordinary Thursday morning. Emma Lane, a gentle woman in her early 30s, walked into the towering office building where she worked as a receptionist. Emma was the type of person everyone overlooked. She wore simple clothes, usually a modest dress or a sweater and slacks, and never boasted about her life. She was polite to a fault, always quick to help, and rarely asked for anything in return. But in an office filled with flashy suits, brand-name bags, and power plays, Emma was invisible. Worse yet, some of her coworkers had started to treat her like she didn't even belong there. That morning, the tension in the air was thicker than usual. A big client was coming in, and the senior manager, Veronica, was on edge. Veronica, with her designer shoes and sharp voice, seemed to take special pleasure in putting Emma down in front of others. It was as if humiliating someone so kind and defenseless made her feel more powerful. Emma had grown used to the snide comments and condescending glances. Still, she held her head high, reminding herself that she was there to do her job, not to win anyone's approval. But today was different. As Emma was carefully arranging fresh flowers at the front desk, a small touch she always added to make the office feel more welcoming, Veronica stormed over, fuming. "Are you seriously wasting time with flowers?" Veronica sneered loudly enough for everyone nearby to hear. "We need real work done, not some pathetic little hobby project from the charity case." Emma froze, the bright lilies trembling slightly in her hands. She felt her cheeks burn, but she forced a small smile. "I just thought it would be nice for the clients to see." "Nobody cares what you think," Veronica snapped, rolling her eyes. "Honestly, you should be grateful we even let you work here. You don't belong in a place like this." The words hit Emma harder than she expected. A few coworkers snickered. Some pretended not to hear. No one defended her. As if that wasn't enough, Veronica pointed at the floor near Emma's desk and said, "Since you love doing meaningless tasks so much, why don't you clean up the mud by the entrance before our VIPs arrive? Get on your knees if you have to." The room fell painfully silent. Emma blinked rapidly, trying to keep the tears from spilling over. She wanted to run. She wanted to disappear. But she knew quitting would only give Veronica more satisfaction. Steeling herself, Emma bent down and began wiping the floor. Her hands shook. Her heart ached. Behind her, she heard laughter, sharp and cruel. And then the front door swung open. Emma didn't look up right away. She was too busy wiping away the mud, her body trembling with humiliation. But the room's energy changed instantly. Conversations stopped. Chairs scraped back. Shoes shuffled awkwardly. A man had entered, tall, commanding, with an air of authority so intense it sucked all the oxygen from the room. Emma felt a hand gently touch her shoulder. Startled, she looked up, and when her eyes met his, the world around her seemed to fade away. It was Daniel. Her husband. But not just her husband, Daniel Lane, one of the most powerful billionaires in the country. Emma had never told anyone at work who she was married to. She never wore flashy rings or name-dropped at parties. She believed in being valued for who she was, not for who she was married to. Daniel's jaw was tight. His eyes were burning, not with anger at Emma, but at the people who had treated her like dirt. He helped her to her feet gently, brushing her hands off with a tenderness that made her eyes well up again, this time from relief. And then, without taking his arm from around her shoulders, Daniel turned to face the entire office. "Who is in charge here?" he asked, his voice calm but icy. Veronica, oblivious, plastered on a fake smile and strutted forward. "Welcome. I'm the senior manager. Can I help you?" Before she could finish, Daniel cut her off with a look so cold it froze her mid-sentence. "I watched the entire thing," he said, voice low and dangerous. "Every word. Every action. And let me make something very clear, you humiliated the woman who matters more to me than anything else in this world. You treated her as if she were less than human." The room was dead silent. Someone dropped a pen. No one moved. Daniel tightened his hold around Emma's shoulders, grounding her, giving her strength. "You," he said, pointing at Veronica, "are fired. Effective immediately." Veronica's mouth dropped open, sputtering protests, but Daniel wasn't done. In fact, he continued, scanning the room with eyes like steel, "Anyone who stood by and allowed this kind of behavior to happen, you're fired too. This is not the kind of company I invest in. This is not the culture I support." One by one, faces went pale. Several people tried to plead, to explain, but Daniel raised a hand to silence them. "This company will be undergoing a full audit," he said. "A new leadership team will be installed. Effective today." And just like that, in a matter of minutes, the entire toxic power structure that had made Emma's life miserable crumbled. Daniel turned back to Emma, his gaze softening. "Come on, love. You're done here." The office watched in stunned silence as Daniel walked Emma out, his arm around her protectively, shielding her from the gaping stares. Outside, the rain had stopped. The sun was breaking through the clouds, painting the world in golden light. Emma took a deep breath, feeling the weight lift from her shoulders. "I didn't want you to get involved," she whispered. Daniel smiled warmly. "And I didn't want you to be hurt. You're not alone, Emma. Never." Tears spilled down her cheeks, but this time they were tears of love, of relief, of finally being seen. Over the next few weeks, Daniel kept his promise. He restructured the company, installing leaders who valued kindness, respect, and hard work. He even started a foundation in Emma's name, dedicated to supporting women in the workplace who face discrimination and humiliation. Emma, for her part, found a new calling. She began speaking at events, sharing her story, reminding people that strength isn't about shouting the loudest or dressing the flashiest. True strength is about kindness, perseverance, and never letting anyone else define your worth. Her message resonated with thousands. And to the world, she became an icon of quiet strength, a reminder that sometimes the simplest hearts are the bravest. And that sometimes, when the world tries to humiliate you, love, kindness, and truth will always, always have the last word.